Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Good people, it's your girl KB. You know what I do and you know why I do it. It is Tuesday morning, November 21st, and it's 3:50 in the a.m. And I am reading the Elder's Meditation. And the quote for today is by Oren Lyons, who is part of the Onondaga tribe. Onondaga, I believe they're on the East Coast. I remember hearing that name. Oren says, in the absence of the sacred, nothing is sacred. Everything is for sale. Amen. That's a deep quote right there. Even souls are for sale these days. And, I hate prophesying, the end times and the pending doom, but, you can't help but see it. It's like we're calling evil good and good evil. And, we're listening to all kinds of things and statements and holding up evil people as knowledgeable and godly. Amen. We're just lost. And that goes for folks that are claiming Christianity as well. I don't want people to think, because I show up in church, I'm good, I'm covered. You've heard me say, if I butter my butt and sit in the oven, I'm not a biscuit. So we have to really think about what we're allowing in our space. Again, in the absence of the sacred, nothing is sacred. Everything is for sale. So if you have this hollow theology, this Trojan horse theology, nothing is sacred. Everything has a price. Since the elders often say that when something is sacred, it has spiritual value. You'll hear on the earth there are sacred spots. You'll hear our ceremonies are sacred. Our children are sacred. Our marriage is sacred. When something is sacred, it means it's holy. You can't attach a value to it. Therefore, it is not for sale. It's an insult to suggest buying something sacred. On the other hand, if we look at it differently, as there is no sacred land, ceremonies aren't sacred. Our children aren't sacred, etc. Then everything is for sale. Sacredness creates spiritual space. Sacredness makes things holy. Sacredness shows respect for God. Great Spirit, let me honor things that are sacred. See, because the things that we hold as sacred, like this writer used marriage. How sacred is it when you're married for, 55 minutes? How sacred is it when you're married 6 or 7 times? How sacred is your commitment to that thing you're calling sacred when you're not willing to fight for it? I'm posing a question because many of us, I shouldn't have to work this hard. Where is it that you're absolved of the work? Where is it that you get a day off? Now, in the workaday world, yes, so if that's the application that you're applying to, the thing that you're considering sacred, then you have labor laws and things to protect you, right? The things of God are 24/7. The things of God are eternal. So if you're calling it sacred, treat it as such. One of the things that growing up poor taught me was the value of things. You know, you never knew where your next new was coming from, right? So you treasured and you took care of the things that you've held on to. You know, the things that brought you joy, the things that, you know, added a little oomph to your life. It's funny, back in the day, we had this handheld football game. It was like the first Game Boy, I know I'm dating myself saying Game Boy, video game. And it wasn't actual players on the screen, it was lines, little, and you know, when you were on offense, your line was bright red. So you just worked that play until you got the touchdown, right? I had that game up until, I want to say I was in my 40s. One, because it was a childhood pleasure just to be able to beat that thing. And two, because, you know, I consider it a treasure. And the only reason I don't have it today is because the batteries corroded in it. You know, I put it away and forgot about it, and the batteries just messed up all the contacts. I still have the broken game, hoping that I can clean it up and make it work. There's a sermon in that too. But I held on to it because it's sacred. You know, I hold on to friendships because they mean something to me. And I want to share this and then I'm out. Yesterday, somebody called me. They said, you know, I'm struggling with these phone carriers. They're just jerking me around. So now I got several phones. But I wanted you to have all my numbers. And what they said next, you're one of the few people who checks up on me. And I do it because I consider friendships and connections, relationships sacred. You know, you've heard me share that I've seen no real good examples of relationships, love relationships, romantic relationships throughout my lifetime. I have one sibling that was married and is now divorced, and it was of no fault of their own. Well, I guess if I had to default, it was a bad choice because the person that they married was extremely immature and thought they deserved happiness, you know, throughout life. They weren't prepared for any kind of hardship. And, you know, every hardship, they bolted. You know, and, you know, that's how our choices go. Any and all hardships, people bolt. And that's based on how we saw relationships. You know, you get to do that. The one good relationship that I saw was my grandparents. You know, yeah, they fussed and fought, but they loved one another. And it was obvious in even how they fussed and fought. Amen. They knew that, you know, it was a valued thing to have a partner, a helpmate. Amen. Amen, amen, amen. What do you consider sacred? And And what do you put a price on? These are important questions to ask ourselves these days.